think Takatāpui Tanga is quite a super.
Raureti Ormond, how are you really tonight?
I'm good tonight. I'm in Wellington at the moment, so it's been a little bit scary with the floods happening around the city, but I'm safe in my whare and our place is all good. So yeah, feeling pretty lucky. But it's cold and it's wet.
Okay, so can you tell me about where you came from, your people, your upbringing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hiri tēnei no ngā titu whare toa. So I come from the beautiful fresh waters of Waihaha and Whanganui ki Taupo Moana. Yeah, so that's where I'm from. I've sort of grown up everywhere. So I was raised in my early childhood in Fukuoka, a
Mm.
city Kyushu over in Japan. Spent some time in Tauranga Moana as well, and then did all of my high schooling back home in Taupo. And now I'm sort of based in Te Whanganui, Tara, Wellington.
Was that
Um,
because of your parents, their mahi, or while you travelled?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, so sort of traveling for my dad's mahi. Yeah, so he is a rugby player, so he was sort of yeah all over the place growing up. So yeah, we sort of just followed where dad went.
What stories were you surrounded by as a child?
Yeah, good question. Definitely not Takatāpui stories. Was surrounded by a lot of rugby players and a lot of rugby families as well. And I sort of remember all of our family friends and yeah, all my cousins, all the sons, they all loved rugby. Yeah, so I always felt sort of other in that sense.
Yes.
But I was always surrounded by, I guess, I loved television,
Mm.
and that was sort of like my escape. And I sort of grew up in the time of there was a lot of musical TV shows and movies coming out at the time. So we had like High School Musical and Glee was a big one for me and Pitch Perfect. So yeah, always lots of music happening. And that's sort of what I gravitated to as opposed to rugby. Yeah, and definitely didn't grow up hearing a lot of Māori stories as well.
Mm.
But that, of course, is from growing up overseas.
Mm.
Yeah, and I sort of realized like growing up, like, oh, I wish I heard more Māori stories, but at the same time, I'm incredibly lucky to have experienced a completely different culture and seen, yeah, other sides of the world. So, yeah, lucky, very lucky in that sense. But yeah, sort of like moving home back to Taupo is sort of the
Mm.
first time I remember being surrounded by more Māori stories and more of our stories. And yeah, that was sort of where I first remember hearing the word Takatāpui in high school.
In high
Um,
school. So where did you sit in your family? Were you the eldest, the baby?
yeah, yeah, so there is two of us. So I
Yes.
have an older and she's 3 years older than me, so I'm the youngest.
Wow. And what did you do together?
Sort of everything, like
Yeah.
we sort of,
Because that's a close distance
yeah.
between. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we were sort of besties growing up. Yeah, we went to school together. We both
Mm.
went to Fukuoka National School. So my sister was always like keeping an eye out for me. And that,
Did you need much help?
nah, not
No.
really. Like, but yeah, definitely dad was always super busy and always on the road.
Mm.
So definitely like my sister and I and my mum, we spent a lot of time together as kids. I remember.
What expectations did Dad have on you?
Yeah, honestly, my dad is amazing and he's
Mm.
sort of uh, never sort of pushed his passions
Yeah.
on on me and my sister as well. Like neither of us have taken to sports at all. But I definitely remember it was more sort of like the expectation of others,
Mm.
uh, sort of, yeah, being like, your dad's a rugby player, and sort of being like, do you play rugby? What position do you play? And just being, no, 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 no. I know that. Yeah, so it was sort of it was never any pressure in our home. It
Hmm.
was sort of the world outside.
So your mother would have been a footballer's wife or a rugby wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's always sort of she looked after us as kids. Yeah.
So when did you first feel different or aware of your identity?
Yeah. Honestly, as
Yeah.
like there's so many like family photos of me as a kid wearing like pieces of fabric as a dress, like wrapped around my body somehow. Like Halloween, like doing the absolute most. Yeah, honestly, as young as I can remember,
Hmm.
I think like the times that it stood out most was yeah, anytime sort of all the all the rugby families and kids were around and all the sons. Yeah, just being super different to me, or like athletic. They all loved running around and tackling each other, and I was like, I want to draw. Yeah.
And you were always allowed, you were always encouraged.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, mum and dad have always been amazing like that.
So you never had any pressures at school?
Not in Fukuoka.
No.
Honestly, wasn't until I moved back to Aotearoa was sort of the first time that I sort of experienced like a lot of bullying at school.
Hmm. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, even just in general,
Yeah.
moving back to Aotearoa, I remember being quite a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
And kids in Japan are very sort of regimented
Hmm.
and well
Hmm.
behaved.
Polite, really polite.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And just kids in New Zealand are a lot more
No.
relaxed. Yeah.
It's true.
That immediately was like a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just kids like yeah, them being super mean at
Mm.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially back in my younger years.
Yeah.
Um, like primary, intermediate, early high school was like the worst of it.
Mm.
The time I sort of got to the end of high school, I was like just pretty confident. I was like, I've already been
Mm.
through so much. I'm like, I'm just gonna own it at this
Yeah.
point.
Same
Yeah.
here. To tell the
Yeah.
truth, I didn't have any choice, from day one of school. It's like, why do you talk like that? Why do you walk like that? And it's like I've become the 6'4" with a much deeper voice, but I was like a little girl, and that was my identity. And
Yeah.
I, like I was like, there's nothing I can do about it. And I
Or
think
like
about
all
identity that way too, because I didn't like boys. I don't believe children have sexualities. I thought that boys were disgusting. I hated getting changed with them. Even, as a 6-year-old going in to get ready for swimming, I still would carry the towel up high. I don't know why. This is also the 70s. So I had no glee. I didn't have anything like that, and I was like, when people would ask me all the time, I didn't know why. And I would say things, well, this is what God gave me. And that was probably the worst thing I could say
yeah.
as well. Yeah. I love what you're saying about being Maori. And do you find, because I know your grandmother, Ripika Shepherd, and I just adore her. She's one of my very close clients. Was she your discovery to Maori, to being Maori, or your whakapapa? Because she's very,
Yeah, I would say so, honestly.
mm,
Yeah, like definitely all my uncles and aunties, they are all, you know, quite fair
mm,
skin, which is
yep,
real interesting because my nan,
no,
she is Maori,
yeah,
and yeah, she owns it. So yeah, I would say she sort of stands out as sort of yeah, being like that Poe back when we were kids, and still she
still,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was your earliest memory of her?
Ooh. Honestly, like I remember a lot of goodbyes at airports.
That wouldn't have
I
been
remember
just goodbye.
being like we were always back and forth between Aotearoa
Yeah.
and Fukuoka. But yeah, I just remember a lot of the time being saying goodbye to them at the Auckland Airport.
Mm.
I always we would have like McDonald's for breakfast at the airport. We get pancakes, and yeah, our koro he had a little flat up in
Yeah.
Tamaki, so we would stay there the night before we had to travel. So that was sort of my earliest memory of being, yeah, sort of around Nan and Granddad.
Mm. Because she's just stunning. She's such a beautiful.
Yeah.
She reminds me of my aunties, and all of them have passed now, you see. So I'm always looking for wahine like her, especially in my clientele. And I'm very close to her, you know. So, and both my grandparents passed before I was born. So I never got to spend that time with them, you know, that is quite crucial because the love of a grandmother is very different to the love of a mother or, you know, a mama. Mm. So your work, Heingoa, centers around names. What does your name, Raureti, mean to you now?
Yeah, so yeah, my name is pretty important to me now, but I guess I didn't really feel that way growing up,
Mm.
just because of everyone always mispronouncing it, or
Yeah, yeah.
so I felt like a burden. But yeah, as I've sort of grown up, it sort of anchors me, I guess, and it reminds me of where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm named Raureti, it's a Sipuna name.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it sort of makes me feel more connected to my whakapapa.
Mm.
And now I just love the sound of Māori names.
Mm.
When I meet someone with a Māori, ingoa Māori,
Mm.
it's like music. I'm like, oh, I just love hearing it. I love, yeah, just, yeah, the more ingoa Māori in the world, the better I feel.
Who called you Raureti?
Hey, that's a good question. Yeah, definitely mum and dad.
Mm.
But yeah, I do wonder if there was any corridor from the rest of the whānau.
Mm. There generally
But
is, especially
yeah,
with a name, especially a tupuna name.
yeah, Raureti is also my uncle Pete's middle name as well.
Okay.
And then Koro gave him. So
I love that about Māori names. My middle name is Naronoa, and I was the first grandchild or first mokopuna born after my grandmother had passed. And my grandmother, Ngāti Hine, she had 16 children, and she was very, very special to all of them. So when I was born, and being the first moko born after she, I think she'd passed 6 months before I was born, and there was a lot of grief. And so everybody converged to Rotorua, where I was born, to see if she was inside me, do you know? And my
yeah,
uncle Ngātai said, we will call him Naronoa. So I'm very proud of that name. But again, like you, people didn't pronounce it properly when I was younger, and it was a jewel to me. So I kept it quite secret. But now it means so much. Mm.
yeah,
I think that'll
yeah,
be a good question for you to ask.
should. Yeah, I must.
Because I was thinking, do you think our names hold memory or responsibility?
Yeah, that is a good question. Definitely memory. Absolutely. Responsibility is an interesting one because I know lots of have changed their names because they felt sort of like the responsibility was too much.
Yeah.
I think it sort of, yeah, depends on who you are. For
Mm.
me, I love a challenge. I love to sort of live up to the legacy of someone. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, I got it. But I know if it's not the case.
So there was a lot of emotion around Heingoa. So according to your grandmother, how did you come up? Where did that begin? Like, how did that come to you?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I had sort of been pondering it for a while,
Hmm.
and I made a show in Fringe Festival.
In Wellington, and yeah.
Yeah, and Hone Coker, um, who runs Kiama Festival, he came and saw that show. And yeah, a couple months later, he sort of approached me and asked if I would want to, yeah, create a new work for the festival. And yeah, he sort of gave me the challenge of doing something new.
Mm.
And he said, do anything you, but I want to see something new that you haven't done before. So yeah, just for a couple months, it's just quite inward and just, yeah, thought, what do I want to say?
Mm,
Um, yeah, and then sort of the topic of names kept coming up because it's not just first names, but it's also like place names.
mm,
And yeah, it's one of those things we all have a name,
mm-hmm.
but how much do we know about where our names come from?
Yeah.
And how much do we know about others and where
Mm-hmm.
their names come from? So I sort of, yeah, put word out and I actually started interviewing a few of my friends and
Oh,
just,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, I, I recorded a series of interviews where I sort of asked them about their names and how
Mm.
they carry it, where they come from. And there was just so much, yeah, juicy stuff in there.
Yeah, I bet.
So what we're going to do. So yeah, I started writing some waiata and it sort of ended up becoming this song cycle, a musical about names.
Mm,
Yeah, and then we sort of casted it from there. And yeah, all of the people and collaborators that we had working on that project, it was a story that they resonated with as well.
I bet.
Yeah, so all of our cast, they have big names and big stories behind them. So it was quite like a healing experience for all of us, which
Mm.
is cool.
Just Māori people
Uh
in
yeah, well it was sort of yeah, a huge mix of indigenous people. So
mm,
yeah, Maori, Moan, Filipino. Yeah, it's sort of like a melting pot, which was really important to me. The music was primarily in Te Reo Māori and English.
hmm
There were, yeah, some Pasifika kupu sort of scattered throughout it. It was really important for me to represent, yeah, a sort of quite an eclectic group of people to sort of
mm,
show that, you know, the experience of names is sort of universal.
mm, they are. I never got to see it. So why did you only just did one season?
Yeah, so we did our Wellington season, which was
Yep.
sort of like our yeah. But yeah, we have sort of like a tour that's work in progress at the moment. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, we're sort of in the process of reaching out and confirming with venues and presenters.
Mm,
Hopefully late 2026 through to 2027, we'll be taking it to different communities across
and
Aotearoa.
what sort of communities is it good for? Is
Yeah, so
schools, high school students like? mm,
yeah, it is like it is a show that would be awesome for high schoolers. But yeah, we're sort of looking at sort of regional festivals. So sort of
okay.
Te Tai Itzy,
Yeah.
um, or Tauti. Yeah, we would sort of love to bring it to sort of like central Tika Maui,
hmm
sort of close to home and sort of, yeah, start there and then, but yeah, honestly, the dream is for everywhere.
I think in Rotorua we have an Oronui festival.
Indigenous festival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking into that. So yeah, hopefully bring it up for that festival.
So when did you realize storytelling and performance was your path?
Yeah, that's a good question because I think growing up I was sort of one of those kids that wanted to do it all.
Yes.
I wanted to be a fashion designer. I
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
and I wanted to be an
We,
actor.
I did too.
I wanted to do everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sort of actually where I fell in love with musical theater because it's multidisciplinary and you get to, yeah, participate in a lot of different genres, which I love. But yeah, I would say it was probably around when Glee came out.
Yes.
And like honestly, I can't even like explain the impact that Glee had on me. Like it just made me fall in love with music and show tunes and musical theater. So I think yeah, sort of around like when the Glee hype was like really at its peak,
Hmm.
is sort of I realized that I love stories and I love performing. Yeah.
For me, I grew up in the sort of 70s and 80s. And so when I first saw Judy Garland, play, um, you know, uh, The Wizard of Oz, I was so excited. And I was also seeing, if I saw drag characters, I was seeing English male drag queens that were so funny and the humor first. And I
Like
think
the
that's where I got learned how
time.
to read.
Yeah. That sort of pantomime
Pantomime,
drag.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What draws you to musical theatre specifically? Glee.
Yeah, Glee, but yeah, just sort of the multidiscipline of it all. Yeah, and I think music is just such a strong language. It's sort of universal. I
Mm,
think I love all sorts of theater, but yeah, sometimes when you watch a play, I think the speaking, for me, sometimes feels a bit stagnant. And then as soon as I hear a Waiata, it's sort of like my heart just opens up and
yes.
yeah, and I can sort of like receive all the beauty. Um, yeah, but I guess musical theater has sort of looked, I guess, sort of one way
Mm,
for a long time.
hmm.
So yeah, it's been like a huge passion of mine. Sorry about that. Sort of, yeah, creating musical work that sort of speaks to our stories and not just sort of like big, yeah, Broadway sing-along things.
So you, uh, that time when you were writing music. So sorry, I'm just trying to get to the point of when did you realize? Because look, I mean, let's face it, commissioning is really hard to get. And
Mm.
like you have this most incredible gift. When was the first time someone picked up something that you had created yourself from scratch? What was
Yeah,
your
that would
first
have,
piece?
yeah, that was Hittingler.
King?
Yeah, so that was the first time I was sort of commissioned
Yeah.
for role. Yeah, so that
Were
was
you
the first time.
surprised? Were you shocked? Were you like, okay?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was not surprised. Um, 'Cause I remember sort of talking to Honi, the Fringe show that I did, and I was so proud of that Fringe show. I thought it was really good.
Yes.
So yeah, I sort of was quite chuffed that he got to see that. Ah, awesome.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, so that was sort of
I like because those are the questions about becoming an artist. So
yeah.
this person approached you from when you were working in a musical, or you were on a musical, or you were starring in one, or
So this was a show that I put on in Fringe Festival
mm,
um at where I studied. They did this annual Fringe show called Liftoff,
hmm.
where they essentially uh, take two or three graduating students and they help you put on your work in the
Wow.
Fringe Fest.
Yeah.
Um, for in-kind support, so they completely sort of funded that production.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was really special that yeah, it was
Mm,
myself and my cousin Padakawa
hmm.
were selected. So yeah, we sort of made this double bill where we both did two sort of like half an hour shows and then we wove them together. Yeah, and then yeah, so that was the show that we put on in Fringe Festival. It was called Aotearoa. And we sort of invited a lot of yeah, industry people and Hone was sort of one of them.
What was that about?
Yeah, so I did a sort of half an hour show called Te Which was sort of like a folk musical
Hmm.
retelling of the Tangiwai disaster.
Hmm. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
And it was a mix of original songs
Yes.
and some sort of old classic folk songs.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then we had like a cast of 9 people and 2 musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then my cousin Parikawa, she did a solo piece, which was all about moko mokai,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of preserved heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and sort of, I don't know if you've ever seen, there's this like very famous controversial photo of a Pākehā man called Horatio Robbie, and he's
Mm.
sitting in front of this collection of moko mokai of Maori heads that he
On
had collected.
Yeah, on sticks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she made a solo show as sort of a reaction to that
Whoa.
photo. And then it sounds crazy, but we managed to weave the 2 shows together.
No, I love
Um,
it.
it was sort of that we're sort of both, uh, yeah, artists from Whanganui Bay. So
Mm.
those the transitions were about Whanganui and our shared whakapapa.
So how, the even the first piece that you did about the disaster, the how did that come? I mean, like where does it come from? Where did it, the tangiwai,
It,
the disaster of that
yeah,
poor ferry, the ship?
it comes from
Had you just watched Titanic or?
well, this is a railway disaster.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So different to Wahine.
okay.
I actually have wanted to make a show about the Wahine disaster as well.
The
And
Wahine
it's really
disaster. That's it. Sorry, got them
yeah.
mixed up. The disasters. So
Yeah, but the Takatāpui
yeah.
disaster is a railway disaster. But
Mm.
sort of the idea grew from the fact that I wanted to make a show with folk music. I sort of love that old sort of folky sound.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, there's a lot of folk music that's about trains.
Hmm.
So I
Oh,
sort of had
okay.
this
Is
like,
there? Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So I had this idea of like, oh, how can I like, yeah, make a show set on a train and it's all quite folky.
Mm.
And then it was literally one of my mates, who was like, what if it was like the Tangiwai disaster? And it was like fireworks. It was like pew pew pew. And yeah, so that's sort of how that started. And
Yes.
I've it's a big work in progress. I'm still trying to extend it from half an hour to like a 2 hour show.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that one's going to take me a while.
I suppose it'll be introducing characters into it, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I think the reason why it's taking so long is because it's a historical event. So
Hmm.
yeah, sort of making sure that we're doing our due diligence and that it's well researched and resourced
Is anyone still
before we.
alive?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Mm.
the survivors, yeah, in their 80s
Yeah, true.
by now.
Yeah.
And that meant that they would have been like kids or toddlers.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah. So their memory might be brief.
yeah,
Mm. So changing the tact, what does Takatāpui tanga mean to you?
it's really interesting because I think Takatāpui has actually opened the door for me to explore my Māoritanga, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And I always give credit to my drag sisters, um, because I'm a part of a drag collective called the Tifas, and we're
Mm.
sort of yeah, so we're a girl group of 4 Māori drag queens, yeah, and we sort of perform together. But it was yeah, honestly, forming that collective that allowed me to explore kapahaka and
Hmm.
poi and sort of just feel unashamed
Hmm.
because sort of when I was younger it was quite intimidating
Mm.
because yeah I want to be in the back row with all the boys.
No, I didn't either.
I was always too scared to sort of, play around with the poi. I sort of once I became a part of this drag collective where we sort of just made our own space. It
Mm,
was the first where I could do haka without, where I could be, you know, sort of wahine, where I could, yeah, where I could poi,
mm,
just not feel sort of any expectation. I think Takatāpui is quite a superpower.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and I guess you sort of, what am I trying to say? It gives you a lot of sort of uh ferocity because when you've had to sort of walk through life, you know, being challenged since you were young by others, you reach a point where you're just like, I'm just gonna live my life.
Mm. Well, it's true.
Yeah. And now honestly, like people always tell me like, how are you so confident? I'm like, honestly, just nothing anyone could say
Yeah.
hurt me 'cause I heard it all when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how did you meet the Tifas? And tell us more about the Tifas. What do you perform? Have you done musical versions in Māori? Or I'd love to see yours.
Yeah. So, the Tifas, we were formed, it was started by my drag sister, Dame Jathan,
Hmm.
and um, yeah, she is like obsessed with Dream Girls and like the Supreme. She just loves those sort of like iconic brown girl groups. So
Love
she
it.
always had the dream of being in a girl group.
Yes.
And she sort of found us all. We met through my university. We both did the same musical theatre degree, but quite a few years apart.
Hmm.
But she always sort of come into our kura
Hmm.
to teach or to come see our shows. And she sort of found me and took me in as a 19-year-old. And then, yeah, she found our other sisters as well. We all come from theatre, so that's sort of our background. But yeah, we formed a girl group. So yeah, we mostly sing live and we
Yes.
dance and we haka, we poi, we lip sync. But yeah, so we mostly do like concerts, theatrical concerts. So
Hmm.
most of them have a theme.
Hmm.
Like we did for the past 3 years, we've done every year Tifa's Amatariki Spectacular.
Mm.
So yeah, we've made a few concerts about Matariki.
Hmm.
This year we have our show is called, or our big show for the year is called Marekura,
Hmm.
and it's all about atua wahine or historical wahine that have changed Aotearoa. So yeah, looking at atua, but also like Fina,
Hmm.
Kamarupi,
Hmm.
Georgina Aya.
Oh,
uh,
wow.
Yeah, and then we're also like there's a huge element that is all about the wahine in our own lives, our
Hmm.
mums, our nans, our sisters, our aunties. So it's all about wahine that have inspired us to want to, become more wahine or dress up as wahine.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so we perform sort of all over Aotearoa. We sort of jet set around
Hmm.
wherever anyone will have us, to be honest. We just love to perform together. So
I love that show. That sounds amazing. That show of so what sort of songs, what sort of waiata do you have? So
yeah,
let's say if we think of Fina, what song have you got for her?
yes, this might be like spoilers, but like one
Oh,
of
of
our
course. You're still rehearsing. I'm
no,
sorry.
it's fine,
Yeah.
but like an idea of do you know Cell Block Tango from Chicago?
Totally. Yes.
But
That's
like
what you've
what
given
idea
Fina.
all these sort of like iconic historical wahine
Yeah.
and we're writing our own verses and
Yeah.
being like back in, back in my day, I did this, and yeah, um, yeah, or yes, I like to blend sort of musical theatre songs, pop
Mm.
hits, so
Hmm.
we love sing-alongs and songs that everyone knows. That's sort of our vibe.
Yeah.
Um, of course, Waiata Māori as well.
Mm.
But yeah, so sort of like I'm trying to think of an example.
So is there storytelling interweaved into it as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So it's like a concert with
Mm.
like themes and um sort of dialogue in between to sort of connect the songs to this overarching theme, if that
Mm.
makes sense. Yeah.
When do you think you'll be completing this? You're looking at sort of the summer months, the warmer months.
Yeah, so that show is happening in July.
Hmm.
So we're doing a season here in Te Whangariatara.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then hopefully we'll take it around.
Yeah, you've got to come here. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. So you move between theatre and drag. What does each space allow you to express? Theatre and drag, what space allows you to express?
This, they are really different.
Yeah, of course.
I love drag because it's so free,
Yeah.
and honestly, there's no rules. Um,
Yeah.
and even though our shows are sort of like scripted,
Yeah.
like when we mess up, we make fun of each other on stage and it's fine. And you can just get away with so much. And we riff and we improvise all the time, which I love.
Mm.
Yeah, so you can be quite naughty with drag, which I love. But yeah, I think theater is sort of like my home, I guess. And it's sort of where I started. So I always come back to theater.
Hmm.
Um, and I love sort of like how in it theater is. That you're just sort of in the story. You're not
Yeah, it's all encompassing, isn't it? Theatre. Yeah.
it's live in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas like with screen, for example, I don't get that sort of same joy from screen.
Hmm.
It's so stop and start,
Mm.
and it's not linear as well. Sometimes you're filming like the last scene, but it's the first scene that you filmed.
Mm.
But I love with theater, you start from the very beginning and you get to, yeah, go on this journey
Mm.
and sort of, yeah, you get to experience the full story in real time.
Yeah, because you are taking people on a journey, aren't you, with
Yeah.
theatre? So who is Pania? What does she hold that maybe Raureti doesn't?
Yeah, I love this question because I
I thought about
like
them.
yeah. Yeah, because honestly, there was a point last year where I'd been in drag so much that I was just sort of tired because drag is exhausting. Um,
It's
so I
painful drag, isn't it? It cuts your skin.
yeah, like you have 500 safe pins
Yes.
dug into your scalp, the corset like laced till you can't breathe. It's like awesome, but it sucks. Um, but yeah, so I'd sort of been quite tired with drag last year, but sort of like on New Year's. Going into 26, I wrote down a lot of goals, and one of my big goals was to prioritize Pania
Hmm.
this year, which, yeah, I think I've really done. But yeah, my name Pania obviously comes from Pana Aotearoa, Pania of the Reef,
Hmm.
um, from Te Katoa Maui, and she sort of represents like this divine feminine, and she is beautiful, she's sensual, she's gentle, but she's strong.
Hmm.
And she is, I think of her as water, like she encompasses the ocean. Um, yeah, so sometimes the ocean is still, and she's gentle. Other
Mm.
times she is roaring and ferocious. Yeah, I think Pania, she makes me feel empowered, I guess. I think as Raureti, I'm quite introverted to be honest, but like in a confident way, but I am
Sure.
quite, yeah, I'm not sort of like a huge extrovert,
Mm.
but as Pania, it's sort of, yeah, get to be quite confident.
You get that
Um,
time to be more confident and stuff like that. And you're obviously confident as a producer, a writer, and a director, because those are all the things that you're doing. You're wearing lots of different hats. Um, and so Pānea gives you that freedom, like you said before, but you still feel free as Roreti.
yeah,
Um,
and
I mean, there's
she
more
can,
money in drag anyway. Have you noticed that? Whereas the
oh,
drag is
absolutely.
has such a big audience,
Yeah,
doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, honestly, like with drag, like we'll do a 20-minute corporate gig and it is a better pay than I got for like a 2-week season at a theater. It is, yeah, definitely better money.
And that's okay. It's also a much bigger audience to drag because everybody needs drag. It makes such a fun evening. It relaxes people. And I produced a few drag shows where I brought drag queens here. And, the venues that I've hired have been like, whoa, we didn't expect, this. We didn't expect the bar to do this, and I said, this is what drag does.
Yeah, I get thinking,
Mm,
eh?
yeah, especially dinner and show. So your work touches on things like rugby, masculinity, and growing up here. What conversations are you wanting to challenge?
Yeah, I guess I really love sort of socially charged work.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, so I guess anything that I'll ever make always has something loud to say. But yeah, I guess I'm really just passionate about marginalized people and um yeah, the environment. Really, really want to make a show about the ocean.
yes.
That's like my next one in my mind. Um, and sort of about, yeah, marine life and just
Mm,
the beauty and vastness of Tangaroa.
mhm.
Um,
And how we're
I guess,
ruining it, or
yeah, absolutely. We're destroying.
how we're destroying
Uh,
it. Mm,
yeah, so I guess, yeah, I want to sort of challenge the way that the world is now.
mm,
But I loved work that is still hopeful. It's always really important to me. And not sort of, yeah, like always voicing what's wrong, but always giving hope, um, and giving sort of solution or remedy. Yeah.
As a young Māori creative, what responsibility do you feel, if any, to those who came before you?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Yeah, I definitely feel like being here in Te Whanganui Aotearoa, I'm sort of, yeah, I feel quite wrapped in or cloaked by a lot of great artists
Yes.
um, who, yeah, came before me. One that I think a lot about is Nancy Brunning. Um, and yeah, I sort of notice her around me all the time. Like everywhere I go, there's always like a portrait of her hung up
Mm,
somewhere. Um, yeah, her name on a plaque somewhere. Um, but yeah, so she was quite close to my whānau and she comes from Taupo and she went to my high school as well.
mhm.
So yeah, she's sort of just like a huge inspiration. Yeah, and I would say like I don't feel a, a responsibility to live up to anything, but I
No.
feel a response. a responsibility to uh, remember
Hmm.
um, and to acknowledge
Yeah.
um, the shoulders that we stand on.
Yes.
It's really special being in Wellington, I guess, because
You're cloaked in
yeah,
it,
we're
like you said. You're cloaked in
yeah,
it. You're wrapped in it.
yeah.
Mm. So, um, have you ever been in love then?
Uh, I don't think so. I'm still like, why am I still single? To be
Well,
honest.
oh, I would have said that too when I was 24. Like, it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm not in love. The prospects aren't looking too promising at the moment. But yeah, I'm definitely like a huge romantic, so
Yes, I
I
bet. Yeah.
always dream about. And like my wedding has been planned for
Ah, I
like 10 years now. So
love that. It's
um,
perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, haven't met the one yet, but always holding out.
So, where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years?
Yeah, I see myself sort of fronting a successful production company.
Mm.
Um, I see myself having now like a repertoire or a catalog of amazing shows that I've produced
Hmm.
or
Yes.
been a part
Starting with
of.
Hang or mm.
Yeah, I see myself sort of transitioning into recording music and making
Mm.
albums to capture all of my um, yeah, musical work.
Mm.
I don't know where in the world I see myself. I love Wellington,
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe I'll be exploring the world. But I think if I'm ever living in Aotearoa, I would want to be based in Wellington.
Yeah.
Um, where else do I see myself? Hopefully in love. Um, yeah.
But if you think of your sisterhood too, though, the Tifas, I mean, you love those girls, and like sometimes the friendship of Takatāpui people, whether it's, whakawahine or, that can sometimes be enough love to
Yeah.
keep us
Yeah.
going.
I think that is like a huge reason I like, yeah, I would love to be in love, but yeah, I feel sort of like there's more than enough love in my life.
In your life. Yeah. Because your writing too probably is it flows more because you're not, do you know? Like,
Yeah, honestly, I
yeah.
think like love, like career would just slow
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And you don't want that. You've only just begun, really.
Like
Yeah.
it is nice not having anyone to sort of have to call upon or
Yeah.
yeah,
I love
quite
that.
self as I am at the moment. It would be nice.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Even at my stage in life, it would be nice. But then, I've got a lovely Neru. His name is Horimi Kaire. I named him after George Michael.
I
And
love it.
yeah, and I love him very much. And I just interviewed a whakawahine niece of mine, Washi, the other day, and she talked a lot about her netball because she's always been very sporty. But she does this annual show called Sisters United in Kirikiriroa. And I used to do a lot of sort of red carpet fashion events. And they were like, "Oh, Uncle, we want it to be like old school, like we used to do. Did you want to come and do a fashion police?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be a fashion police anymore, but I do want to do the red carpet thing. I'd love to, but I'd
Yeah.
rather uplift now, than criticize." So I'm really looking forward to that. This has just been wonderful. This is exactly everything you answered. So many questions that I've always wanted to know. I believe it has nothing to do with
23 in August this year.
So you're a Virgo?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, that'll be another reason why. So, yeah, I'm an Aquarian, and Virgos, Leos and Aquarians are direct opposites, and we've got lots to learn off each other, they say.
Yeah.
So to end, I do this with everybody. To end, I end with five fast questions, five fire
Love
questions,
it.
I call them. And so you don't have to think about them too much, but you can think about them as much as you like. The first one, you've already answered this, but what is your superpower?
Yeah, Takatāpui Talk, being Māori is a superpower,
Mm.
and music, I would say.
When do you feel most powerful?
On stage. On stage, but specifically singing with a group of people.
Mm. A waiata or musical that shaped you?
Ooh. Hmm. There's so many.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
Sorry.
no, I love it. I would say probably, yeah, Hairspray was probably like
Mm.
the first musical that I found as a kid, but
Which,
yeah.
which version?
The 2000 and I think it was 2008
The John
or
Travolta
2000.
version, not the Divine version.
Yeah, yeah,
Have
yeah.
you seen the Divine version?
I have, yes. Actually, I remember watching it. Like I watched it years ago as a kid.
Yeah.
This is so different,
Have a
but
look. It's
iconic.
all the Divine movies are outrageous.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's a legend.
totally. One word that describes your whakapapa?
Um, Water,
Mm.
the lake. Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Tū whare toa.
yeah.
Mm. Your grandmother will be proud of you for saying that because she'll be listening.
Yes, well,
What will Raureti be known for?
mm, uh, telling stories.
Mm. Yeah. And that's what you've just done tonight, told a story for us, which I really appreciate. I'm still getting over the fact that you're only 23. So when did Hangoa come out? How old were you then? 22? 23.
Yeah,
Right?
I would too. Yeah.
Mm, just brilliant. I love that. Yeah, and I can't wait until you start when you take that on tour. And I'm so grateful that you've joined me tonight. Anything else you want to say lastly to
Oh, just
like your younger self?
yeah, to my younger self. Um, yeah, very proud of you, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It's cheesy as, but yeah,
And any final words?
yeah. Just thank you so much for having me. This has been such an awesome corridor, and yeah, I've sort of been quite go 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 lately, so it's nice to actually just stop and take a moment to sort of reflect on life and
Mm.
yeah, I am, and also yeah, it's just been awesome to talk with you, and yeah, you're so good at sort of like holding yeah, corridor. So
Oh, I
thank
used
you.
to practice news and presenting when I was a child.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
I just taught myself. I always wanted to be a news reader, and I
Yeah.
also loved Miss Universe. I loved to be the host of Miss Universe and Mr.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I feel like you can.
it's true. Thank you so much, Raureti. Ka kite anō.